I got something that might interest ya. It's AniMay17, your regular dose of anime through the month of May. Let's go on a shopping trip together. It's Tamako Love Story. Welcome to the Usagiyama Shopping District, the friendliest little market in town. All the shop owners love to meet a new face, and the market's pride and joy is young Tamako, the daughter of one of the rival mochi shops. Tamako is bright and cheerful, reaching out to everyone she meets. Tamako Market, the original show Love Story is a sequel to, explores the importance of community through its charming slice-of-life presentation and colorful cast of characters. It was a cute little show with a fun setting, but was run horrifically into the ground by the ever-present, irritating mascot character Dara the Bird. The simple, down-to-earth setting and storytelling was dragged through the mud by Dara's boisterous personality and out-of-place narrative about magic and foreign princes. He was a terrible character and a blemish on an otherwise enjoyable show. I'll admit I cringed pretty hard when the film opened with a half-assed intro with Dara and the prince back in their homeland, but thankfully this sequel drops those characters like the sack of bricks they are and finally delivers the no-thrill story I felt it should have had in the original. But does Love Story actually have enough going on to deliver an enjoyable experience? Tamako Love Story focuses on the titular Tamako and her childhood friend and neighbor Oji Mochizo. Both were highlight characters in the show, but their relationship couldn't really be fleshed out with all the hijinks, so I wouldn't say it's necessary to watch for context. In the same way as in the show, Tamako is portrayed as a very friendly but ultimately clumsy and clueless girl who lives in her family's mochi shop. Mochizo, on the other hand, is the son of the rival mochi shop across the street from Tamako, who has lived there since he and Tamako were born, and the two have had a lifelong friendship despite their quarreling fathers. Mochizo comes across as very capable, if not a bit shy when it comes to his blossoming feelings for Tamako. The crux of the film revolves around Tamako and her friends wrapping up their last year of school and looking ahead towards their futures. Most of Tamako's friends are planning to go to university, while Tamako seems content to follow in her family's business. Turns out Mochizo is thinking about attending film school in Tokyo, and is debating confessing to Tamako considering how far away he may be from her. There's also some build-up as the girls practice for a baton twirling routine for their local marching festival, but it's more of an excuse for Tamako to have some cute interactions with her friends over the course of the film. It's a fair premise to be sure. This is the kind of stuff Kyoto Animation really excels at. Fun, lighthearted stories that emphasize calming activities like eating together and quieter moments of reflection. Like I mentioned, I love the Tamako Market cast. Kana is a very enjoyable deadpan weirdo, and Tamako's little sister Anko is insanely cute and often more mature than her sister. It's a fun and believable performance, and their interactions help flesh out what would otherwise be a pretty bare-bones plot. But how's the romance? It is called Tamako Love Story, so no surprises there. Literally, the movie didn't really have any surprises of consequence. The trajectory was clear even in the first episode of the show, but is getting there fun to watch? Well, yes and no. The film absolutely captures the myriad emotions of budding romance, the tortured awkwardness, unrequited feelings, processing emotions. It's got it all, and I'm sure is relatable to 90% of the populace. It's all really well paced for the story they're trying to tell, but its focus is personally on the least interesting part of a relationship. Sure, it ultimately accomplishes its arc, but the film literally ends on the climax without a single frame of resolution. Well, so what, I hear you asking? That's how all romance stories end, and they live happily ever after, right? Yeah, but the movie set my expectations to be weighing whether or not this relationship could actually work. Sure, getting there to reciprocate feelings is a good first step, but the whole narrative is about these people's future. Will Oji still go to Tokyo now? Will Tamako leave with him? Can they make the long-distance thing work? I don't feel like these are unfair questions. Ambiguity can work well, and any story doesn't really end when the credits roll, but I honestly think some kind of epilogue would have gone a long way in leaving me with a better taste in my mouth. Well, that being said, I think the movie looks fabulous and has a lot more expressive color direction than they could afford to do in the original show. Kyoto shows always have insanely expressive characters with lots of subtle and not-so-subtle animation. I laughed whenever characters were fidgeting around, and I felt so tense when Mochizo finally worked up the guts to confess. I was genuinely invested in these characters and was excited to see how things would resolve, but the writing was on the wall, and I knew the movie couldn't wrap up everything I wanted it to in the last 10 minutes. Sure, it's about the journey, not the destination, and I definitely had a good time and felt the ending was well earned, but I couldn't help feeling a little personally hurt when it seemed like they dropped the curtains 5 minutes early. But I guess it's the bitter memories that prove you did something. And hey, don't be a stranger! Come back around next time for more AniMay17.